Okay, so this is the new piece of equipment. This is a Milwaukee die filer. It's made by Rice Pump and Machine, brand in Milwaukee. So if you don't know what a die filer is, it basically holds a file in a collet here, like a little chuck, and it moves it up and down, basically mechanically files, so you don't have to sit there and scrape with the hand. You can get precision angles with this tray. This one is complete with the overarm support, and everything seems to work. So let me plug it in, and there it goes. And let me get you off the tray here, and I'll get you for a closer look. So everything works. This guide right here is supposed to move up and down. It's pretty stuck. The return spring is there. The guide for the spring is there. It had this square D switch on it. It's actually a starter. There's a heater inside here. Original motor. Belt is jacked, obviously. And everything works. So its original color is that color there. So I'm planning to try and find something to match that and get this table cleaned up, everything taken apart and stripped. And as I said, this has the full overarm support. A lot of them you see don't have this anymore, or some of them they have a roller type too. It's 2 speeds, and it's in pretty good shape. I paid $30 for it, so I mean, can't pass that deal up, right? So right now what we're going to do is we are going to start tearing this sucker down, getting it ready to clean up and take apart and make it look like, pretty much the rest of the equipment in the shop here. So that is the plan. All right, everything here looks relatively simple to take apart. I don't see anything that's going to jump out at me. One thing is, actually, let me get the manual. I was able to find this on Keith Rucker's site there. And here's a basic manual. And inside here is a diagram of the internals. So it looks to me, judging by this picture here, it shows a gasket here. So I'm assuming this hub on the front comes off. I don't see a obvious seam there, but this has been painted over, so I'm not really surprised. It basically looks like I just need a couple of wrenches, a couple of screwdrivers, and a couple of Allens to take this entire thing apart. And we have our kind of screw there. So why don't we start the top down and go from there? So most of this will probably be sped up. If I run into anything crazy, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Looks like it just sits on those trunnions, but why isn't that coming off? Oh, there's a groove. All right, so there's 2 bolts that gotta come off. So here's something interesting. These are the jaws that hold the files. And this one here, that's a spring and a ball joint, so that this can actually move a little bit and adjust for any variation in the files. This here, there's 4 bolts in this way holding this on. This, it's still a decent amount of oil in there. I'm going to drain that out. So how does this work? So that, all right, so it's just on an, oh, interesting. That's actually a pretty interesting mechanism. It's actually a really interesting mechanism. Okay, so let me drain this oil out. All right, let me change the camera angle for you guys, and I'll show you what it looks like inside there. Okay, so the way they have this set up, if I can get some halfway decent lighting in here, is there's an eccentric in there. You can see that brass pin moving out. That eccentric pin that's on this larger diameter here is riding in that brass pin as it turns, and that's what's transferring our up and down motion to or our rotary motion to up and down motion. And the attachment point, which you might not be able to see, but all the way back in there, right where my finger is, there's a set screw. So that's actually Dutch keyed onto this shaft. So we should be able to take that key out and slide this whole thing out. So I'm going to try that and see what happens. finally done. So finally got around to cleaning up and painting this. I bought it beginning of last fall. I took it all apart over the winter and I painted it this spring. Green hammer tone. It actually wasn't in that bad of a shape. Yeah, I paid $30 for this. The only thing that was wrong with it was a little bit of the stuff up here was a little bit rusty and seized. And I don't know if you'll be able to see. The pulley has a chip taken out of it. Not a big thing. I'll be able to get another one. Basically took everything apart, motor apart, cleaned everything, changed the oil, stripped it, painted it, and she runs pretty good. So I have an actual difiler file in there, and I have the overarm support on just to show how that works. So, you very easily can unplug that. Just have to loosen. There is the screw. There's a bolt right here. And then loosen and the foot also adjusts, obviously, and we could swing the overarm out of the way. There you go.